Hello students, how are you all? Welcome to this session of first term. Today we are going to discuss the questions of chapter number 4 to build a fire. To build a fire is written by Jack London. This short story is written by Jack London. So let us see what is our first question. Our first question is: the man's rationality proved to be useless against the Klondike's wilderness, whereas the dog's instinct helped him to survive. Discuss with reference to the story to build a fire. Now, first, let us understand what is the meaning of this question. How the man's thinking, whatever he was thinking to fight the nature, and it proved fatal for him. It was useless for him, as he was in the greed of that gold mining. You know what is the meaning of Klondikes? Klondikes was that period in Yukon where gold mining activity was going to be held. So because of that activity, he was so bewildered that he thought to go against nature, and how it proved to be useless for him, for fatal for him, whereas the instincts of the dog helped him to survive. So you have to give the answer with reference to this question, with reference to this story to build a fire. Now let us see what the answer is. The man's rationality proved to be useless against Klondike's wilderness, whereas the dog's instinct helped him to survive. Now we are going to discuss it point-wise. The man underestimates nature. He is without imagination, and his indifferent attitude towards nature proved fatal for him. Man considers native as inconvenience. He feels that mittens, ear gloves, warm moccasins, thick socks, etc. would be enough to tackle the severe cold. Now, what does this mean? That this point means that here the man who is referred to in the story is so much wild in his imagination. He underestimates nature. He thought that he could fight with the nature. This attitude proved fatal for him. He considered that he would easily cross that Yukon trail. Okay, okay, so there he used mittens, you know, the type of gloves, ear flags, warm boots, that is referred to as moccasins, thick socks. These all proved, he thought that they will be enough to tackle the severe cold. But that was not the case. Now, let's see the second point. Conceit and adventurous spirit of man. He didn't need to he didn't need the predictions and weather forecast of more seasoned persons and explorers. Due to lack of inadequate preparation for the journey, he faces death. Now, what does this mean? That he was very adventurous. He had the very adventurous spirit. He didn't take any heed of the predictions. He didn't take heed of any weather forecast. Many of the experienced persons already told him not to do so, but he didn't pay any heed to them, and due to lack of that inadequate preparation that he did for the journey, at last he faces death. He is blind to human frailty and unnecessary and unforgiving power of nature. What is being told here is that he is blind to human frailty, means that human body is conflicted. Okay, it is just has some limitations, it has some confinement. So he thinks that his body will endure everything, but that was not the case. Third point is primitive instinct of the dog saves it from death and prolongs its life. Now, what was that dog's thinking? He was thinking to save himself. He does not have that attitude which the man was having. So his instinct at last saved him from death and prolongs his life. Means it made his life long. The dog's sale companion of the unnamed man A big native husky will be well adapted to the harsh environment of the Yukon Trail. Its ancestors are aware and well versed with the cold winters, and it had inherited the knowledge by its instincts. Now, here in this point, the dogs, you can say that the dog's inhabitants are being told here that he was a big native husky dog, means it belonged to the wolf family. It was very well adapted to the harsh environment. The Yukon Trail had very harsh environment. It was very cold there. So his ancestors were aware and well versed with the cold. They knew about the cold. So that is why he had inherited the knowledge by his instincts. It was his instinct that was telling him to save himself. Now next one. The dog was motivated by instincts and knew this was not the time for travelers. The dog simply obeyed the mysterious prompting that accused from the deep crypts of its beings. When the dog feels the trap, it made quick efforts to remove the ice off its legs, bite off the ice that forms between its toes. Now, what is being told here? That the dog was simply obeying his instincts. His instinct was telling him to save himself. ठीक है, save itself. So he was just following his instincts. Now it was told that the dog feels the trap. What was when he just trap his feet in the ice? So what he do the quick effort to remove that ice off its leg. He was biting the ice that was forming between his toes. When the man wanted to kill it, he slid away, and on realizing that the man was dead, it at once trotted up the trail. Okay. Now, what he did was, the man wanted, if we refer to the story, we can easily know that the man once had an idea to kill the dog and warm itself. But when dog just understood the instinct, he understood that the man was going to harm him, he just sidled away. He just grabbed the opportunity and he just trotted away the trail in the direction of the camp. And whereas he learned that, when he learned that the man was dead, he just trotted up means he walked away to the trail in the direction of the camp, where he knew where it would be other men who would be better food providers. Now he knew that in the camp there were some boys, there was some fire, and there will be some food. So in order to save himself, he didn't wait for that dead man. He just started off the journey in the direction of the camp, where he would find the food providers and fire providers. Thus, it means that conceit and underestimate of natural power that led to his doom, but the dog's natural instincts proved to be superior to all the technical advancements and scientific knowledge of man in the story. Now, this means that the man underestimated the natural power, means he underestimated the nature's power, and that is why he was doomed, he was destroyed. But the instinct of the dog was superior to that of the man. So that is why he was having the knowledge, and the man was not having any scientific knowledge. So the dog at last saved itself from that bitter cold. Okay students, so there are some more questions also in this PDF. You just try this at home, try to write the answer on your own. Okay, we will just over this. Thank you so much.